Well, what happens when the fact checkers need to be fact checked? It's going to be happening a lot more in the near future, I have a feeling. But anyway, I got a little bit on a Facebook fact checker for you on this one. So stick with me, folks, and I'll be right back. Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and I have just a few things to go through with you, and one of them has to do with Facebook fact-checking. I'll get to that in just a minute, but I wanted to start with this. This was a very interesting tweet here. Why is there a floating hospital near Portland? What are we expecting? And I guess it's the Mercy that's there, and if you look down here a little further, it says that, this says, I imagine it can be doubled as a holding facility jail. Portland has been bad. It is going to get much worse close to the election. And then down here it says, I looked it up. They said it is there for maintenance. Far superior maintenance could be achieved in its home port of San Diego, rather than the meager shipyards in Portland. So, yeah, it is definitely there in preparation for something. And Portland Naval Base has been closed since 1995. Of course, a civilian shipyard could perform ship maintenance, but seeing as that San Diego is the second largest Navy base we have, why would you bring it all the way up to Portland for maintenance? So, just some speculation here. Does make you wonder, right? So I'm not sure what the deal is, but I think it's very significant that it's there. Why is it there? Anyway, I'll leave all the links to these down below and you can check them out for yourself. Well, this was a piece of good news. I have some friends that live in Pennsylvania, and the judge rules Governor Tom Wolf's pandemic restrictions are unconstitutional. Yep, unconstitutional. But of course, he's not going to accept that. And he thinks that he still should be able to put all the different restrictions on. I mean, he's done, quite a bit. It's been, the Wolf administration's pandemic policies have been overreaching and arbitrary and violated citizens' constitutional rights, Stickman wrote in his ruling. This was a Trump judge, which is really good. That's what we needed, people that actually will look at the Constitution. He says, the governor's efforts to slow the spread of the coronavirus were undertaken with the good intention of addressing a public health emergency. But even in an emergency, the authority of government is not unfettered, Stickman wrote. That's the judge. The Constitution cannot accept the concept of a new normal where the basic liberties of the people can be subordinated to open-ended emergency mitigation measures. The ruling means that current restrictions, including ones that limit the size of indoor and outdoor gatherings, can't be enforced, according to attorney Thomas W. King III, who represented the plaintiffs. So, very interesting. It was 100% in their favor. And the court found in all respects that the orders issued by the governor and the Secretary of Health were unconstitutional. What it means is they can't do it again, and they should not have done it in the past. So we'll see. But of course, like I said, they're going to appeal it, and they're trying to get a stay so that they can continue their draconian measures until they get another ruling. So I don't know that that's going to work. We'll see. But that's at least a little bit in the positive direction for the people of Pennsylvania. So yay for that. Well, I was on Facebook tonight and I came across this conservative Junction had some different things, and it had this particular article about, it says, from lawenforcementtoday.com, and it says, sources, series of wildfires on the West Coast may be coordinated and planned attack. Police on alert. Okay? Then it has this, missing context. Independent fact checkers say this information could mislead people. And then when you click on this, it gives you this right here, which tells you virtually nothing, but it does say science feedback. And then when you click on this, it takes you to a website. Well, this is the website. Climate Feedback is the name of the website. Oh, so this is the fact checker. The name, it said science, but no, that's not what it really is. It's climate feedback. Look at that. And the claim was inaccurate on it because they're not accidents and they're not being caused by willful arson. It's all climate change. Didn't you know that? You can go through and see some of the other garbage that they're putting out as it lacks context, inaccurate, these kinds of things. They're just so wrong. So I did a little bit of checking myself, and of course I had different articles that show that yes, they were spread, and the video came out Sunday night. I had in that one, I had a thing from the Multnomah County Sheriff's Department that said they found fireworks that were, to be used to set fires. And then, Mr. 17 posted the thing about the Clackamas County commissioner meeting that they had, where they were talking about finding gas cans out there all set up so they would make the fire go worse. And the evidence is out there. They just keep denying it. So what happens is this Law Enforcement Today article, when I went to the article then, guess what? They have changed the title. The headline now reads, Arson Arrests Made Across the West Coast as Fire Rages On. Now remember, back here, it was series of wildfires on the West Coast may be coordinated and planned attack. So they changed it. And pretty much everything in here has been altered because guess what? The PC police got after them and they caved. They totally caved. We don't want to mislead anybody. Oh, we don't want it to be politicized. Homes are on the line. Lives are on the line. So if they are, tell us the truth. We know that there are people setting them. I mean, the one guy was arrested for 7 different fires that he set. He was arrested. They've caught him. But oh no, they're not being set by anyone. It's crazy. And, they just backpedal. This whole thing is backpedaling. It is all backpedaling and pretty much has contradicted everything that the original article was about. So I just want to leave that with you. And I wanted to show you all these little claim reviews that the fact checkers are checking. Because I'm sure that somebody who is so gun-ho on this climate garbage is going to be telling you the truth. That's who they're relying on is fact change. Oh, look at this, PragerU. The global polar bear population is threatened by loss of sea ice, contrary to PragerU's video claim. Oh, yeah, right. That's a bunch of hooey. Just a bunch of hooey. PragerU is right on the mark with that. So they just make stuff up. They just make stuff up. And this is who's fact checking. Well, what do you do when you're fact checked like that? How do you go back so you can get rid of this right here? Because this makes people think that it's not reliable, that it's not true. Well, how do you get rid of that? Well, you don't. That's the problem. There's no way to contact Facebook and tell them that they need to check their fact checkers because their fact checkers are doing a sucky job. So anyway, and basically, like I said, they just caved. They went back. They rewrote the article. It says pretty much not at all what it was saying before, which is sad. Very, very sad. Well, I just wanted to share this with you too, that evidently there's an audio clip that has been released that reveals that the LA County Health Director expects schools to open, guess what? After the election. And if you've not seen this Barbara Ferrer, well, she's a scary looking person, but they don't have it here. I mean, this is supposed to be an audio clip somewhere, and they've gotten this. And it was a call between Ferrer and a collection of school nurses, school administrators, other education and medical professionals. And that's what they were dealing with. And this is what they said. We don't realistically anticipate that we would be moving to either Tier 2 or to reopening K through 12 schools, at least until after the election in early November, Ferrer said. When we look at the timing of everything, it seems to us a more realistic approach to this would be to think that we're going to be where we are now until we are done with the election. How is that not doing it to manipulate and influence a presidential election? It's exactly what they're doing. Because these parents can't get back to work until their kids are back in school like they're supposed to be. So, it's just all of this right here. He wrote to the health department and asked when Ferrer said schools would reopen. I got a response back that is basically this word salad. Gregory said, it's one big long paragraph of a word salad. It's not even worth reading because all that it said was, we're reassessing all of the time, and as soon as we do the in-person learning with the high risk, high needs students, the special needs, we will reassess for everyone else. That was their official answer as to when the schools were going to reopen. So it's not making sense. It's not going with science. It is so political anymore. It's wrong. It's definitely wrong. So I'll leave the link to this down below. And speaking of really wrong having to do with schools, check this out. This kid is being arrested. He was arrested because he tried to go to school in person. And it says while suspended. Well, that's not necessarily the case. The reason he was suspended is because he went to school. Yes, really, seriously. A high school senior from Long Island who is protesting remote learning was arrested on Thursday after attempting to attend in-person classes while suspended. Okay, but why was he suspended? Well, William Floyd High School senior Maverick Stowe, 17, was suspended Tuesday for trying to attend school on a remote learning day. Stowe was issued a criminal trespass notice when he did the same thing on Wednesday. When he showed up to the school on Thursday morning too, police arrested him and took him to the 7th precinct. Stowe said he believes he should be in school 5 days a week, but officials with the school district say they don't have the space to allow every student in every school every day while following state guidelines, because of course this is New York. And so now the district is threatening to close the high school to all students if Stowe keeps showing up. More than 100 students have now signed a change.org petition condemning Stowe's actions, saying he does not speak for all students. I wonder how many students are actually in the school. What percentage does the 100 represent? Stowe's parents previously told Eyewitness News they support their son. Kids need to be in school every day. Oh, a voice of reason. Virtual learning is not learning, and it is not. It is so substandard. It's putting our kids so far behind. It really is. All these other countries, really, all the other countries have their schools open. Kids are back in school, but not the United States. And it's wrong. It's just wrong that they're not. And she says, my son is being suspended because he wants to be in school. When have you ever heard that happen? I mean, when? Richard Stowe said his son told him and his wife that he was planning to do so on Tuesday. It's not yet known what their response is to their son's arrest on Thursday. So, yeah, he's arrested. And I just can't, they arrested him because he was suspended, but he was suspended because he wanted to go to school. It's just boggling my mind. As a teacher, I would have loved to have kids that wanted to be at school. It was always nice to have those kind. So they say, oh, it's a publicity stunt. No, it's not. It is, well, it may be in this case. Oh, okay, here, approximately 3,000 students. So 100 out of 3,000. And they make a big deal about it. Now, in case you don't know, when they're writing these articles, Here's a trick for you. You may not be aware of this, but here's the trick. Okay? Articles are written by a certain way. There's a certain method that you use to them. First of all, you got to have a catchy headline, because the headline, most people will only see the headline, and that's all they're going to read. Okay? So they see the headline, you got to have something that's catchy and that grabs people's attention. Well, of course, student arrested after attempting to attend school in person while suspended. You see, they had to put that while suspended in there to make you think, oh, well, the kid deserved it. He should have been arrested because he was trying to go in and he was suspended. He wasn't supposed to be at school. Well, if you go down here, then read the first 3 paragraphs. Always read the first 3 paragraphs, at least. A high school senior and everything, it talks about who he is, because in the first 3 paragraphs, they're supposed to tell you pretty much the main details. Well, they do, kind of, but not exactly. And it says he was suspended Tuesday for trying to attend school on a remote learning day. And then he was up here that he was arrested because he was suspended. So you do at least get that information. But a lot of time the devil is in the details. And the details are quite often buried further down the list. So when you start looking at this, you start seeing that the truth is coming out. And like I said, that little detail right there, even I didn't remember it when I was reading through it. I kind of skimmed over it, I guess. But yeah, so 3,000 students. But what was the detail that was given up top? And really, the majority of the people will stop after the first 3 paragraphs. You'll hardly have anybody else who reads the full article. So people would say, well, 100 students signed that petition, If all those other students sign that petition, then they must all feel that this is just not the right thing to do. No. There were 3,000 kids. And if only 100 of them signed that, then you got a lot of kids that didn't. So, of course they're trying to make it out to be, well, here they say 8,799 students. So they even have another amount there. But, we will not condone or allow students to flagrantly break the law in our schools. It should read, we will not condone or allow students to actually attend class every day. It's crazy. It is so crazy what they're doing. But anyway, I thought I would leave you with that because we live in such crazy times that a kid who wants to go to school every day is arrested. Wild. It's just so wild. Anyway, that's what I've got for you on this one. I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see y'all later.